As a matter of fact, since the 1920s, teachers have been using forms of multimedia to deliver information. I wonder what would happen if we took some of the most powerful forms of information collection and presentation in the history of Western civilization, put them together in the hands of professionals. I wonder what you would get out. Think about it. Now, the power of video is undeniable. As a matter of fact, any kind of visual instruction tool has power. And that's really kind of where the birth of multimedia came from. It came from film strips and things of overhead projectors and artwork. Any extra type of sensory that would allow the student to learn besides just talking was a powerful tool. But the problem was the extent of human history. Something unique, something different, something incredibly powerful that weaves together many of the different types of media that we would consider multimedia. You have video, audio, reading. You have animations, pictures, moving pictures, artwork. Everything that you could have used in the past, you can now use in the classroom. Only now, it doesn't necessarily take a media cart or film strips. What I'm talking about is one of the most innovative developments in the 20th, 21st, and probably onward centuries. We're talking about the multimedia internet. And using one computer in the classroom, I guess, is better than using none. But there's a very limited amount of things that you can do with it. Now, if multimedia is really what it's cracked up to be, how come schools don't invest more money into it? I love this quote. This is a quote I got from a journal that I downloaded off the internet on multimedia and instruction in education. The author writes this. He says, those schools in the United States commonly have a single computer in the internet and with internet access in the classroom. The classroom routinely has no capacity for the whole class to see or hear what it can provide. Let's suppose that you've got a really fast connection. Stream and download stuff whenever you want. Okay, great. Now what? Is it worth the time putting in to develop and design this stuff, assuming you even knew how? Does it work? Does multimedia actually work? Well, here, let me read you something. This is from an article on the rationale for using multimedia in the classroom. It says, when engaged in higher order thinking skills such as comparison, analysis, inference, and evaluation, the mind must carry out its problem processing in some symbol system. Howard Gardner languages for thought. His interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligences play an important role in interactive nature of multimedia between others on the internet. Conclusions have been held up for decades. A Bertelsmann Foundation report prepared by Dr. Reeves of the University of Georgia provides a succinct summary of issues related to scientific evidence. Overall, 50 years of educational research indicates that media and technology are effective in tools as phenomena to learn both from and with. End quote. Finally, as with all educational and social sciences research, obviously proof is not definitive because we're dealing with people here. But the creative technology and inclusive pedagogy is effective within our reach. So that means they're basically saying that the use of multimedia is now right before us, the effective use of it. That we've been using it for years and it's been effective, especially developing higher order thinking skills. Of course, you could use it for things like drill and kill and repetition and that sort of thing, which is good and it has its place. But isn't what we really need to have multi-dimensional thinkers, people who can deal with lots of input at the same time and then come out with something really pure and focused?
Computers is a lot different from learning from books because learning from books, to be honest, is boring. Learning from books, it's just something that you expect from all teachers. You sit down, open the book, and read. There's no entertainment, and when kids can't have fun, then they don't like to learn. But if you do it from computers, then you get to be active and you get to do things rather than just sitting and reading.
Well, when you're actually visualizing it and seeing it for yourself, it's a lot better than I don't know, sitting down, opening a book, and then looking at little pictures and hearing, having to ask so many questions to your teacher that he can't even answer, basically. So you see it for yourself and you can understand it while you can move it around maybe or something. Just Well, looking at the computers and visualizing it, it's easier to remember because you're having fun while you're doing it, and you kind of, it feels like you're actually there. So.
Well, teachers usually explain it one way, and when, like if the students ask, they won't still understand it. So I guess the internet, computer, multimedia will have usually more than one answer, and explain it more, like, yeah, more.
Well, when I did the star stations, I did it myself, so I just learned a lot more about what the stars and the galaxy itself, because I didn't have someone talking to me about it and boring me. I did it myself, I read it myself, and I took notes about it, and it was just a lot easier with the computer. Well, with the computer, it lets you see it, and you don't have to visualize it in your brain. You can literally see what you're learning. You don't have someone just telling you about it and making it up in your head. You can see what's there, what's happening, and everything.
Well, I'll give this Mr. Temple's class a 90. It's better than reading books. It's more entertaining. Better than reading books is because it's not visualizing what you're reading. If you were doing movies, what Mr. Temple is doing, you could see, then read in the computers. Because the stations also have more visualizing the pictures, and it's also moving.
Like the animation?
Yes.
Let's see, for multimedia, I think it really helps because, like,
it makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, all the teachers use normal notes, and it's really more fun when you're doing multimedia. Plus, like, I love computers, so.
And if it's not fun and interesting, you don't really want to remember it because you think it's boring.
And you don't want to learn,
and if you make it fun with multimedia and computers and things like PowerPoint presentations, then it's easier to remember because it really sticks in your mind. Like, you're like, oh, that's so cool.
I know, yeah. Well, multimedia projects, they are more time-consuming than just writing things, but they're a lot more fun to do. Like, I did a project where I worked on paint, and then I made them into different clips for a movie, and it was time-consuming, but I had so much fun doing it. I got my dad to be involved with voices,